Voting reforms are really important to me, so I'm just curious what your thoughts are on expanding the size of the House of Representatives. Is that something you've thought about before?
I really haven't given a lot of thought because right now it feels like we're just fighting for our lives to preserve democracy, right?
Yeah.
And so I think about a few things that are so important. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act is a pretty standard, non-controversial act, but it's become so hard to pass in the U.S. House of Representatives and in the Senate. And so I think at a minimum, we should at least pass that. And one thing I do think is important when it comes to voting rights and voting for the American people, Election Day should be a national holiday. Give everyone the day off, let them fill out their ballot, turn it in, or go to a poll. But I think first and foremost, let's pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. And I think a part of that does include, let's make Election Day in November a national holiday.
Yeah, there was a really good Washington Post article. Did you read that last week about the physical space in Congress and like what it would physically take to build out more offices and more seats on the floor?
I know it's doable.
If you're a nerd, you'll love that Post story. Nice. So right now I have about 776,000 people who I represent, and very proudly. The most important thing to me is that we are delivering excellent constituent services for 760,000 people. Yeah. And so that's a constant practice, it's a constant effort that we are really focused on. We want to make sure that it's balanced, it's bipartisan, it is expanding where people need more representation. I mean, I think those are all really important pieces too.
Obviously, ranked choice voting has gained a lot of popularity, but there's also approval voting and star voting, stuff like that. So thoughts on that?
Ranked choice voting, we're having this conversation in Maryland right now, more at the local and state level. At the end of the day, my goal is to help rebuild people's trust in government, to feel like their voice matters. And I'm willing to have any conversation that actually gets at, especially our generation, people feeling more enfranchised than they are. But at the same time, in Maryland, we've had a number of really high profile races where hundreds of thousands of votes were cast and the winner came down to like 17 votes. And so my message to people, your vote does matter at the moment, and that's what I'm focused on really as we enter the midterms in 2026 is like, how do we regain trust and get the 1/3 of people who didn't vote in the last election? How do we get them engaged and excited to participate more? So willing to have any conversation that gets us there.